Hello students, in today's video I am going to deal with one such topic about which the students often ask me, and that is how to critically appreciate a poem. I have designed today's lecture especially for undergraduate students. See, students, when you are supposed to critically appreciate a poem, the first and the foremost thing is you should make a a mental picture of the things that you are going to incorporate in your answer. And it is advisable that you divide the whole thing in six paragraphs. Now, what is required in each paragraph, I'm going to deal them one by one. The first paragraph. In the first paragraph or in the introductory paragraph, this whole paragraph should be about the poet. And the points that you should include in that paragraph are the birth date, birth year and place of the poet, and the place of his burial or death, when he died. That date should also be incorporated in the answer. Next important point that should be there is are the literary creations of that particular poet. Sometimes the list is very long, so it is not necessary that you name all the creations. You can name a few which are very important, which are very renowned of that particular poet. The third thing that is required in that particular paragraph is the style of that poet. So, on the whole, we can say in the very introductory paragraph, things about the poet they really matter, and these are the points. These some four things they should be incorporated in one's answer. So, I hope the things are okay with you. Now, we are going to proceed further. Now comes the second paragraph. The second paragraph is about the poem. Now, what are the things that should be there in that paragraph? First thing is the publication. The publication date, the publication year, and if it was published in some journal or book, that should also be mentioned in the second paragraph. Along with that, if the poem is an extract from particular work, like if the thing my students are having a poem called The Village Schoolmaster by Oliver Goldsmith. It is an extract from his long poem The Deserted Village. So the deserted village, this should be mentioned in the second paragraph. That means the birth of the poem is very important. Like the birth of the poet was important, that was incorporated in the first paragraph. Similarly, how the poem took birth, that means when and where it was published and how it was conceived, if any idea of that thing is was shared by the poet, those things should be mentioned in the second paragraph. Now we come to the third and the fourth paragraphs. In the third and the fourth paragraph, these two paragraphs deal basically with the summary of the poem. Now, one thing you should keep in your mind that this is actually the soul of your answer. So it should be very impressive. Summary doesn't mean you have simply to write the story involving the whole, you can say, things surrounding the poem. No. Summary actually means you have to deal with the basic idea of the poem along with the way in which he has presented that idea. And in order to make your answer impressive, it is imperative that you use original lines, original text lines should be there in that third and the fourth paragraph. That's why I'm saying that these two paragraphs are actually the soul of the answer. So in the summary part, you should use maximum original lines. As maximum, that means as much as you can, not unnecessarily. The lines should be justified, but you should use them. The original lines should be there in this particular part. Now comes the fifth paragraph. In the fifth paragraph, this is actually the most critically, you can say, critical analysis part of the poem. Here, you should deal with the literary devices that the poet has used in that particular poem, the figures of speech, and any other literary device which you think the poet has used, and that's the which had really made the poem beautiful, that should be mentioned in the fifth paragraph. Then language of the poem should also be dealt with in this paragraph. And you should also mention the style, the particular style in which the poet has written the poem. All these points, that means sort of critical analysis of the poem, comes in the fifth paragraph. So it is also very important, and you should deal in full detail, giving citing examples from the text itself about the literary devices that have been used in the poem. Now the sixth paragraph. Sixth paragraph is the conclusion. In the concluding portion, you should sum up the whole matter. See, from the very first paragraph, we have just tried to expand the matter. Whatever the poet had given us in the form of poem, we simply expanded the ideas, expanded the notion in the past five stanzas, five paragraphs. Now, in the conclusion part, you should rather sum up the whole thing, and it is advisable to use some quotes here. Quotations can be cited in this particular part so that your answer becomes more impressive. Now I'm sharing some tips and tricks with you people which will definitely help you to make your answers more impressive. First thing, use quotations. See students, if I'm giving an example, see, there is a dish served to you and it is plainly served in a plate. There are no garnishings on it. So you'll eat it, but you won't be that much attracted. If that same dish is served to you with proper garnishing, definitely you'll get attracted towards that thing. So quotations are like the garnishings of a dish. You should use quotations to make your answers impressive, as well as using quotations reflects that you have actually understood the idea of the poet and tried to correlate it with the ideas of other persons whosoever have said anything about the poem. So use quotations wherever necessary. Second important thing is underline important facts. See students, when the examiner is checking your notebooks, he or she may not have enough time to go through each and every word. So in order to make your examiner read those lines which you actually want him to read, or which you feel that may help you in scoring good marks, you should underline them. But one thing is very important here to keep in mind, that don't use unnecessary underlining. That will make the whole thing take the whole thing to a negative aspect, or rather towards negativity. So in don't try to use extra underlining if not necessary, because that will defeat the whole purpose. Now, the third important trick that I want to share with you people is there should be proper division of the matter. Like I gave you that idea that the whole thing should be divided into six paragraphs, and what is expected in what paragraph I shared with you. So you should stick to that only. Don't merge them. Especially the problem comes in the third and the fourth paragraph, when the students are trying to summarize the whole thing and they forget, they try to just you can say fill in as many things as one can in one paragraph only, and so the especially generally the fourth paragraph becomes very short. Don't do it. There should be equal distribution of ideas in both the paragraphs. Similarly, in the first paragraph, if that is about the poet, that should be only about the poet. poem should be dealt in the second paragraph. And as far as literary devices and all that, that should be properly shown, you can say discussed in fifth paragraph. That means when the person is checking your sheet, he should be aware that the student has properly divided the answer into appropriate groups. So that is going to be very impressive. So that's all from my side about how to critically appreciate a poem. I think this is surely going to help you. And if you are going to follow the tips and tricks that I shared with you, definitely you will be scoring much better marks than earlier. And make it a point that always try to use those ideas which are original. Don't copy them, because see, so many students will be giving the same idea, copying from the same text, so same book. So try to be original. That is always required from a student. So that's all from my side about this topic. We'll be taking up another topic in my next video. Till then, it's goodbye.